making headlines. The President revokes the permit issued by HTC to use a specific area of Holomale for drifting and racing. The Minister of Transport assures the implementation of the stringent measures as directed by the President to tackle reckless driving. And the Minister of Islamic Affairs emphasizes the importance of the President's vision for Islamic culture, noble customs and moral values. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. The permit issued by the President Dr. Mohammad Moizu revokes the permit issued by the Housing Development Corporation HDC to use a specific area of Holomale for drifting and racing. The permit was issued on October 19, 2023, was revoked as part of the administration's efforts to tackle reckless driving and ensure road safety. Taken to social media, President Moizu shared details of 8 stringent measures to ensure road safety, instructing all relevant institutions to strictly implement the measures. He added that these instructions are essential for safeguarding residential areas from the disturbance of modified vehicles and by preventing the noise from becoming a public nuisance. The 8 measures instructed by the President are to amend laws and regulations to penalize speeding and reckless driving and implement strict actions against such drivers nationwide, to make roads safe for everyone immediately, revoking the permit issued by HDC on 19th October 2023 to use a specific area of Holomale for drifting and racing, stopping vehicles that violate the speed limit, confiscating the driver's license and impounding the vehicles to police custody. Amend laws and regulations to prohibit road vehicles with a specific cc horsepower and above from being used on public roads. Amend laws and regulations to forbid the import of such devices, thereby preventing the operation of loud noise-producing vehicles equipped with modified silencers. Expedite the execution of the plan that the Maldives Police Service submitted to the HDC. The Maldives Police Service MPS proposed the installation of speed breakers and speed detection cameras in 150 areas of Holomale, introduction of a graduating license system and deduction of points from traffic violators' driving license, expand and strengthen the MPS's efforts to enhance traffic laws and regulations. Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Mohammad Amin assures that all the relevant authorities will implement the stringent measures as directed by President Dr. Mohammad Moizu to tackle reckless driving and ensure road safety. He assured that the traffic rules and laws enforcement will be strengthened. Taken to social media, Minister Amin reiterated that the ministry would take necessary measures to tackle reckless driving and ensure road safety. Assuring that the necessary measures will be taken immediately, the minister urged the public for collaborative efforts to ensure the roads are safe for everyone. Following the tragic death of a 23-year-old individual in an accident, President Dr. Moizu shared details of 8 stringent measures to ensure road safety and stop reckless driving. He ordered all relevant authorities to implement the necessary legal amendments to enforce stringent measures against speeding and reckless driving. The tragic death of a 23-year-old individual in an accident occurred at midnight on Thursday and resulted in the death of Hassan Sama, who was struck by a speeding car driven by Muhammad Wissam Siddiqui from Hitadu Sinatol. The driver of the car has been arrested. The Maldives Police Service is further investigating the case. Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shahim Ali Said emphasizes the importance of President Dr. Mohammad Moizu's vision for Islamic culture, noble customs and moral values, stating that it is a vision the country urgently needs today. The minister made these remarks while speaking at the official National Day ceremony held in Utimu, Halif Atoll.
In his speech, the Islamic minister urged the current generation to draw lessons from the life of Muhammad Taqur Irfan, describing him as a symbol of courage and determination. He highlighted Taqur Irfan's unwavering love for his country and loyalty to the religion, noting that the Maldives remains steadfast in its Islamic faith today due to Muhammad Taqur Irfan's noble jihad. The minister expressed gratitude for the country's leadership, which continues to remind the people of the importance of the national language and Islamic faith. He underscored that President Dr. Muizzu's vision is essential for the country's future and that today's generation must work towards preserving national identity and moral integrity by adhering to Islamic principles. Minister Dr. Shahim also praised UTIM, calling it a school of leadership that has produced key figures in Maldivian history. He remarked that despite its small size, UTIM's legacy is etched in golden letters in the nation's proud history. The minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting UTIM's ongoing national efforts.
Minister of Divehi Language, Culture and Heritage Adam Nasir Ibrahim likens the reforms initiatives of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu to those of the national hero Bodu Taqur Irfan. Speaking at the National Day commemoration ceremony, Minister Adam Nasir highlighted the presence of reformers throughout Maldivian history. He noted that Muhammad Taqur Irfan's reign came at a time when the Maldives urgently needed reforms, particularly during the Portuguese occupation, which necessitated significant efforts to secure national independence. Minister Adam Nasir emphasized the positive and lasting impact of Bodu Taqur Irfan's reforms and drew parallels to the current initiatives led by President Dr. Muizzu. He stressed the importance of celebrating National Day, reminding the public that the pursuit of national independence and sovereignty is an ongoing journey. Minister of Homeland Security and Technology Ali Hussain praises the success of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's collaborative approach to Homeland Security.
In a social media post, Minister Ihsan acknowledged the positive outcomes stemming from the President's Joint Operational Concept, which has been instrumental in addressing critical security challenges that existed when the current administration took office. The minister expressed his gratitude to the leaders and staff involved in the coordinated efforts led by the Joint Task Force. One of the key focuses of the Joint Task Force has been tackling the issue of illegal immigration. Special task forces in collaboration with the Maldives Immigration and the Maldives Police Service MPS have been conducting targeted raids across the Greater Malay region. These operations, guided by intelligence gathered by the task force, has led to significant discoveries including debit and credit cards, large sums of money and confiscated passports from those taken into custody. Minister Ihsan also highlighted ongoing efforts to streamline the deportation process for illegal immigrants. In partnership with Maldivian, a cap of $518 has been set for deportation tickets. Documented immigrants are deported within 48 hours of detention, though challenges remain in processing undocumented individuals. The government is working closely with relevant embassies to expedite the resolution of these issues.
Minister of Climate Change, Environment and Energy, Tariq Ibrahim underscores the crucial importance of the Asia Protected Area Partnership APAP roadmap, noting that it supports the Maldives' efforts of protecting the environment.
Speaking at the Regional Conservation Forum RCF 2024 Asia Forum, organized by the International Union for Conservation of Nature IUCN, Minister Tariq highlighted that the APAP roadmap will bolster the Maldives' environmental protection initiatives and will also facilitate stronger bilateral relations with other Asian countries and the sharing of valuable experiences. At the forum, Minister Tariq introduced the APAP roadmap for other effective area-based conservation measures (OECM). The primary objective of the roadmap is to strengthen the efforts exerted to protect the environment while ensuring that natural resources are utilized sustainably by the Asian countries. The Minister of Climate Change, Environment and Energy stated that the roadmap also aims to enhance cooperation among Asian countries in environmental conservation. Furthermore, Minister Tariq co-chaired the Celebrating the Decade of Advancing Protected Areas in Asia, held under the RCF 2024 Asia Forum. This event marked the achievements of the past decade in protecting and preserving Asia's protected sites. The minister expressed optimism that the event will ensure that efforts exerted by the Maldives to protect the environment are also recognized at a global level and also expand the Maldives' role in Asia. The IUCN's 8th RCF 2024 Asia Forum aims to evaluate conservation progress, revisit priority goals, and propose strategic directions for the region's key stakeholders to best address challenges concerning the environment and biodiversity over the next 20 years. The forum was held in Bangkok, Thailand, and saw the participation of over 600 participants.
Maldives Immigration launches a new application that enables officers to check whether foreign nationals are residing in compliance with local regulations, marking a significant step in modernizing immigration services.
Speaking to PSMNEWS, Controller General of Immigration Muhammad Shamman Wahid stated that the previous system relied on manual processes, but efforts are now underway to digitize operations in line with modern practices. The Immigration Watch initiative is a key part of this transformation. Shamman explained that the new application allows officers to verify on-site if a foreign national is living within legal boundaries or is undocumented. He said this will be a major improvement in the work. As part of the modernization effort, Maldives Immigration also launched an online platform on July 17th to report illegal immigrants. The Immigration Watch program has led to the deportation of over 3,300 foreign nationals this year, including many involved in illegal trading or holding incomplete documentation. The government plans to expand the operations to all islands in the Maldives within the next year and aims to consolidate the data of all foreign nationals into a single database. The comprehensive solution to address the issues surrounding foreign nationals is expected to be fully implemented within the next 3 years.
Business Center Corporation BCC abolishes its regulation which mandates the registration of home-based food producers. The regulation was initially publicized in February. Providing insight on the abolishment of the regulation, BCC stated that the decision was taken as the Maldives Food and Drug Authority, MFDA, formulated the standard of practice in the production and sale of food for personal consumption and the regulations for registration of food processors for personal consumption. The new regulations were introduced following concerns over deteriorating hygiene standards in home-based food production. Recent actions, including those by Maldives Immigration to crack down on illegal businesses run by foreigners, have revealed that some food is being prepared and sold in unhygienic conditions. Therefore, MFDA is exerting efforts to ensure the production of food such that it does not pose any health risks. Under the new regulations, home-based food manufacturers must meet specific standards to obtain a production permit. Manufacturers must submit details about their facilities and products through the online portal using eFast login credentials to register. The regulations also allow for inspections to ensure compliance, and manufacturers are required to submit annual checklists and declarations to the authority. Japanese retail giant PSMNEWS Holdings said that it had turned down Canada's Alimentation's $38.5 billion cash bid, rejecting an offer that would be the largest ever foreign buyout of the Japanese company.
7-Eleven operator PSMNEWS said the takeover proposal was not in the best interest of shareholders and was likely to face significant antitrust challenges in the US, where the combined company would be the convenience store industry's biggest by a considerable margin. PSMNEWS, which said last month it had received an offer from Circle K owner Couche-Tard without naming the price, disclosed that the bid was at $14.86 a share and said it was open to sincerely consider any proposals. However, it said in a letter addressed to Couche-Tard that it would resist any proposals that deprives shareholders of the company's value that fails to specifically address very real regulatory concerns. Koostar did not respond immediately to a request for comments from Reuters. Its incoming CEO, Alex Miller, said on a post-earnings call on Thursday that Koostar was confident in its ability to finance and complete the deal. PSMNEWS shares swung between gains and losses before closing 1.43% lower at 2,133.5 yen, $14.99 on Friday, slightly above the value of the $14.86 per share proposal. The stock traded at 1,761 yen, $12.29 before Koostar's approach was announced on August 19th. Koostar shares have fallen about 8% since its proposal to PSMNEWS was made public. The Japanese company said if Koostar was to increase the value of the offer very significantly, it would still be concerned over whether a takeover would be able to progress. According to LSEG data, the $38.5 billion Koostar bid is the largest all-cash offer for a company since Elon Musk bought Twitter for $40.2 billion in 2022. According to analytics and consulting firm Global Data, 7-Eleven is the biggest U.S. convenience store operator with a 14.5% share of the market in 2023, and Koostar's brands had a 4.6% share.
Displaced Palestinians express their longing for a permanent ceasefire after 11 months of conflict.
Living in makeshift tents and hollowed-out buildings after months of strikes that have left much of Gaza in ruins, Palestinians hope the temporary pause in hostilities, instated to enable a polio vaccination, will turn into a more permanent one. So far, 187,000 youngsters have been vaccinated against polio, which was facilitated by Hamas and Israel agreeing on limited pauses in their fighting. The UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA, said the campaign was so far successful but complex. But the war continued elsewhere in the enclave, with Gaza health authorities reporting several killed in Israeli airstrikes, including a hit on a hospital in central Gaza. And despite the success of the polio campaign, diplomatic efforts to secure a permanent ceasefire in the war, the release of hostages held in Gaza, and the return of Palestinians jailed by Israel have faltered. On Thursday, vaccination began in Rafah and Khan Yunis in the south of Gaza, both areas that have been battered by the war and that have hosted tens of thousands of people who have fled other parts. Later on Thursday, the Gaza Health Ministry said Israel refused to allow medical teams to areas east of the Salahuddin Road to vaccinate children living in the eastern communities of the southern cities. Health officials aim to reach 640,000 Gaza children for vaccination against polio in the campaign, which was launched after the discovery of a case of a 1-year-old baby who was partially paralyzed. Meanwhile, Israeli air forces pressed on with operations in several areas across the Palestinian enclave, battling fighters from Hamas and the Islamic Jihad militant group. According to Gaza's health ministry, since the war escalated, more than 40,800 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza.
President Volodymyr Zelensky joins a meeting of Ukraine's international backers in Germany, appealing for additional weapons as Kiev faces advancing Russian forces in the east and devastating strikes by Moscow.
The president was also due to meet the German chancellor and then head to Italy following the meeting at Ramstein Air Base, which comes days after 55 people were killed and 300 wounded in a Russian missile attack on the city of Poltava. He stressed the need for more weapons to drive Russian forces off land. He also urged Kyiv's supporters to follow through on previous commitments, saying that the number of air defense systems that have not been delivered is significant. And he again called for restrictions on the use of long-range Western weapons to hit targets inside Russia to be lifted. The meeting at the base southwest of Frankfurt is being hosted by U.S. Defense Chief, who announced that Washington will provide $250 million in new military aid for the Ukraine. He told the meeting that the package will surge in more capabilities to meet Ukraine's evolving requirements. The talks in Germany with representatives from some 50 nations will focus on areas including bolstering Ukraine's air defenses and encouraging allies to boost their defense industries as well. The meeting comes as Moscow's forces advance in Donbass with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday, declaring that capturing the eastern area was his primary objective in the conflict. Since the start of its offensive in February 22, when it failed to seize the Ukraine capital Kyiv, Russia has adapted its aims, concentrating instead of trying to conquer eastern Ukraine.
United States climate envoy John Podesta says that plans were moving forward for another summit with China on reducing emissions of methane and other highly polluting non-CO2 gases.
China is the world's leading emitter of climate change-inducing greenhouse gases, including methane, followed by the United States. Podesta's visit to Beijing comes as experts say China could be near or already at peak emissions, a potentially water-washed moment in the international efforts to keep global temperatures below targets set by the 2016 Paris Agreement. While acknowledging some differences, Podesta said he had held excellent talks with Chinese counterpart Liu Zhenmin and Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing. He said that the two sides had made plans to hold a summit on non-carbon dioxide gas, methane, hydrofluorocarbons, and dinitrogen monoxide. Wang said on Friday the talks in Beijing had gone smoothly, hailing pragmatic results in cooperation. He said this sends a positive signal to the outside world that as two major powers, China and the United States not only need to cooperate but can indeed work together. Climate talks often revolve around reducing the most dangerous greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide. But methane, which is particularly potent but relatively short-lived, is a key target for countries wanting to slash emissions quickly and slow climate change. That is because large amounts of methane simply leak into the atmosphere from oil and gas projects. Methane emissions from the fossil fuel industry have risen for 3 consecutive years, according to the International Energy Agency, hitting near record highs in 2023.
Chinese space expert says that China plans to carry out the Tianwen-3 mission through 2 launches around 2028, aiming to bring back samples from Mars.
The chief designer of China's Mars sample return mission unveiled the details at the second International Deep Space Exploration Conference in Tunxi of Huangshan City in East China's Anhui province. The designer explained that China's Tianwen-3 mission aims to search for evidence of life as its top scientific goal. Technically, it will tackle key challenges like sampling, taking off from the surface, and planetary protection. The mission is mapped out in 13 phases using both on-site and remote sensing to study Martian samples and data for signs of life. It wants to ensure the samples will be retrieved and that the mission can yield scientific results. In terms of planetary protection, the mission will strictly abide by international agreements, avoiding bringing pollution to or back from the planet while making sure Mars, Earth and the samples are uncontaminated. In addition, the Tianwen-3 mission will mainly involve 3 areas of international cooperation: payloads, samples and data sharing, and research planning for the future. China aims to work with scientists worldwide to cooperatively study and share Martian samples and data. The mission also includes partnering with countries and research institutions to define the objectives and tasks of a Mars research station, analyze requirements, conduct conceptual studies, design implementation plans, and tackle key technological challenges, all in the pursuit of building a shared home on Mars.
That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.